Yo, what's happening people? It's Era. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make dark melodies in FL Studio. If you're new around here, then make sure that subscribe button's grey and click the bell too so you never miss out on an upload. I'm going to be doing a giveaway at 500 subscribers, but I'll have more on that in a future video. So with all that said, let's get straight into it. So I'm here in FL Studio now, and as you can see, I've already got some instruments loaded. I've chose a couple of guitars, a couple of flutes, a nice atmospheric sound, and also a vocal sound from Arcade. I'm going to add and take away instruments as I need to, but this is normally a good place to start. So I've chosen 2 guitars and 2 flutes, but I'll probably only end up using one of each of them. So I'm just going to start with my top guitar, which sounds like this, and try and get myself a nice chord progression down. Now I'm going to try and use this second guitar to add some bass notes in, and then if it doesn't sound good I'm going to scrap it and just add the bass notes back to the first guitar. So I'm going to go in now and just follow the bass notes of the initial chord progression. The only thing I am going to do here is I'm going to press Ctrl A and then Alt R to randomize the velocities. Because for the first layer I played it in, so it's going to sound nice and human with the velocities, so I'm just going to adjust these velocities to match that. So the next thing I want to do now is add a woodwind. So I've got these 2 flutes here. I'm just going to make a pattern and then choose which sound I like more, and then I'm probably just going to get rid of the other one. So I've gone in and laid a flute pattern down. Now it sounds a bit high pitched to start with, but I'm going to add some half time and other effects onto it that's going to make it sound a bit better. So this is what it sounds like. So the first effect I am going to be adding is half time. I like to set it to 1/8, and then I like to set it into swell by about 300. And then I also usually take a bit of the lows out, but I always like to hear how it sounds first, just in case. The next plugin I'm going to add is Fresh Air, and what this does is it just makes the high end sound a bit more crisp. I'm not really quite sure how it does it, but I know that I like to press this link button and I like to turn it up to about 30%, and it's just going to make the high end of the flute sound a bit more crisp and a bit more atmospheric. This flute's also routed to my reverb bus. I'm just going to turn the reverb up a little bit because I can't really hear it that much. The last plugin I'm going to be adding is Flute by Cymatics. I like to use the Moon 1 preset, and then I'll just bring the magnitude down to about 25 or 30. Sorry, there is one more effect I'm going to put on the flute, and that's RC20. I'm going to just turn the noise off completely because I don't really like it. I turn the wobble down slightly and I turn the distort down slightly. The next thing I'm going to add is this sweepy atmospheric sound. It sounds like this. So again, I'm just going to follow the root notes of the chords, but I'm just going to play it in this time. So now I've recorded that in, this is what it sounds like. So for the effects on this, I've got an EQ with a low cut of about 80 Hz. I've got a high cut cutting out some of the real harsh frequencies up here, and then a slight boost at around 2K. Now I just want to add a bit of reverb. I like the sound of Cymatic Space Reverb. It's got like a really grainy texture on some of the presets. I usually like to go with the space one, and then I'll just bring it down to about 40%. And I also like to bring the decay down. Now I want this atmosphere sound to be moving around in the background of the loop, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a preset that I like in Shaperbox 2. So with all those effects added to the atmosphere layer, this is how the loop sounds. So just to save my CPU, I've selected all of the clips over on this side. I'm going to right click and just go to render and replace. And what that's going to do is it's going to render them all as audio clips and replace the MIDI files, so then you can delete the plugins. So I've rendered all this down to audio now to save my computer's CPU. I'm going to let you have a listen to how it sounds now before I add the last little bit of source. Now the last thing I'm going to do is something I do on a lot of my loops. I'll come onto the master channel and I'll add the waves pitch shifter. For some reason, when you shift the pitch with this plugin, it adds a certain colour to the loop that I just really like. So I'm going to start by just going down a few semitones and just find a spot where I like it. I think I like it there, just at -1, so there we have it, this is the final loop. So that brings us to the end of this video. If you made it all the way to the end, then big up you, man. It honestly means a lot to me. If you like the video, then make sure to drop a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what your favourite VST or library is for making dark melodies. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.